Greetings and welcome to another episode of Learn About Port Wine. This is another video in our series of the cellar tour lodges in Gaia. And today we are talking about Ramos Pinto. And is it worth your time and money while you come visit us here in Porto and Gaia? Let's find out. The Ramos Pinto Lodge has a great location right on the Gaia waterfront, beautiful structure, and they not only have a great history of winemaking, but a great history in the advertising and marketing of port wine. We're going to jump right into the review, so the criteria for these reviews will be listed in the description, so check it out. Online ticketing and booking, non-existent. They don't have anything. Basically, they have a lot of information about their tour on their website, but they don't have a way to purchase or schedule in advance. They offer times when they normally run specific languages for tours, but they also have a disclaimer that that may change at any point in time. So unfortunately, you really just have to show up as early as you can, find out when the next tour for your language is offered, and go ahead and you can sign up for it at that point. Overall tour. The overall tour consists of three parts: the museum, the cellar, and the tasting room. There are no photos or videos allowed in the museum, and that's about half the tour, so I don't have a ton of content to share. But the museum is really cool for a history geek like myself. There's just so much to see and learn about the company and how they handled business back in the day. And you're also introduced to the history of the Ramos Pinto illustration and marketing for the sales of port wine. They're really on the forefront then and even now as far as how to advertise and how to sell port wine. They are a small producer, especially compared to like the Sandemans and the Taylors, but the cellar offers everything you would imagine. There are barrels of various sizes for different types of aging, and those are all explained by your tour guide. The next portion is the tasting room, and they do not have a premier tasting room. So if you are a viewer of this channel, you're expecting me at about this time to go into my rant about a lack of a premium tasting room. However, they did a really good job. They figured out a way to make what they have work for them. They've created a tasting room that not only works for their visitors, but is also very welcoming for someone who just wants to go in and sample their wine. Very comfortable atmosphere, very like cozy feel to it. Everyone taking the tour purchases the same ticket, which is 20 euros, and that includes a tasting of 3 reserve level wines, which is actually a nice step up from the entry level wines you get at most tasting rooms. You have the option to purchase additional tastings from a very extensive menu. I really don't understand why everyone doesn't do this. And you are able to purchase single tasting glasses, you're able to purchase flights. And there's a large variety of both table wines and port wines available for purchase. In keeping with my mantra of always choose the premium tasting, I opted for the expert tasting. And it consisted of a 2018 LBV, a 2005 vintage, a 10-year-old single Quinta tawny, a 20-year tawny, and a 30-year tawny. The price for that was 46 euros. Well worth it. They were really great wines. And not only were the wines described to me by the person who was presenting the wines, but they give you this little portfolio with a information card about each of the wines. And it's really well done, very high-end kind of feel to it. Again, it calls on their history of marketing and advertising, And again, I don't know why more people don't do things like this. Overall experience and feel. While they lack a premium tasting room, while they lack the ability to book or schedule online, I think this is a really good tour. It's got a very different feel. This is more of like a homey kind of feel to it, very welcoming and very relaxed. I think they did a really great job by focusing on their strengths. And even though they don't have some of those key elements, I think this is well worth a visit. Pros and cons. So as far as the pros go, it's a great overall experience, a very fun, casual tasting room, which I know I am contradicting a lot of things I've said in other videos, but for them it works. And a great way to taste, I don't know if all their wines, but certainly a large range of their wines after the tasting. Another pro is the museum. They did such a good job there. And if you're into the history of port or just wine sales in general, it's a really great addition. Cons, for me, the biggest thing is the lack of online scheduling or booking. I think if you're visiting us from afar, you probably like to have some things scheduled in advance just to make things easier. You're just not able to do it here. I could see this as being a killer for some people, that they just might not be able to fit it into their schedule, which is a shame because this is a really nice experience. My rating. So I already talked about the lack of a premium tasting room, lack of online scheduling, and even with those, I still definitely recommend this. It's a very nice tour. I almost would want to make it highly recommended, but again, it's that scheduling thing. It's so important for wine tourism and for people that are coming to visit. It's just too big of a hit to make it highly recommended. But if you're here, if it works in your schedule and you have the time, definitely do this tour. You're really going to enjoy it. And as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified when new content is available. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for questions and comments. Been getting a lot of good interaction lately. And we will see you again on the next episode of Learn About Port Wine.